really thorough scouting that there's not units slipping by.
Okay, so if somebody plays 2 ether and you're playing 1 initially.
No. Well, I do 1 ether, then the proxy, and then I just follow up with my ether.
Okay,
I might be behind by like 40 ether max. I don't think there's anything that happens with 40 ether difference.
Okay, so what happens if someone plays 2 ether Legion Hall and then goes to Angelarium?
Well, we do that as well.
Well, may I explain the concept of like why proxy is a thing? The proxy is a thing because you don't specifically lose anything going into proxy in the middle, counting the fact that you play from one base, because this is probably the most efficient to play one base. You get the control of the middle, and if your opponent doesn't respawn accordingly to you with his own proxy, he's sacrificing the middle control, loses on Pyre, and he needs to achieve something as an answer. Mathematically, you as a proxy player can always keep up just because you don't lose anything to do proxy. Also, you get a very strong point with Hallowed Ground. So for your opponent to keep up, he once again needs to either proxy or he needs to get something else to be done, so he keeps up with you having map control, which is rather like either run by or having an expand. But having an expand is something that's probably hard to do.
Okay, so therefore, the risk of losing your buildings if you take a bad engagement is not enough to be
Absolutely zero, because if you take such bad engagement so you lose your building, probably you lost already before you lose your building.
Okay, so it's a binary way of playing then, where you say, I'm gonna either win my engagements or I'm gonna lose the game if I lose my building.
Yeah, because why should we lose an engagement if we're one base versus one base? On same economy.
Worse micro?
Well, yeah, but if we have worse micro and we lose a fight, we're gonna be behind. And if we're behind, we expect to lose anyway.
If you're at the one with doing the proxy, you should be behind because you are spending more time. You are behind doing the structure because you have to walk out the way on the map to build the structure.
Yeah, but that's not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the weird part about all of this.
If it were the case, I would not do the proxy.
The thing is that you get units with the proxy with the same on the same timing as guy that is playing on his main base, so there is no reason to not do the proxy unless it is like very punishable.
Yeah.
And it seems like you can't really punish it, so you just you're forced to do proxy as well.
I think the reason why the proxy does so well resource-wise is because we start with full workers. If you look at any other game, you would have a worker running across, and that worker is costing you minerals the entire time.
There's gonna be workers changes, by the way.
Yeah, I think a lot of what we are doing right now doesn't make any sense if there's gonna be changes to the economy.
Yeah, so there's gonna be, I think, I don't know about starting worker amounts. That's not something I've thought about, but it may be worth bringing up. But I do know that it's gonna go from, I think, 6 to 12 workers, I think.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter for us.
What?
If we start with 12 workers instead of 6 workers, that doesn't change the viability of this build.
I know. That's why I said it's probably worth bringing that up, you know?
Also, the thing is that the whole concept of expanding in the early game is broken as fuck at the moment, just because of your initial additional income on your main.
Okay, wait.
Well, because we have 9 minerals per second on the main. 6 from the workers and 3 from the extra building.
You have 12 per second.
What?
You have 12 per second. The Bastion gives 6 per second. It's equivalent to an extra alloy line.
Oh my god.
It's even worse, I would say.
How is an expand gonna pay itself? Like, if you go from 12 per second to 14 per second, you don't feel the difference.
Because the expansion is critical, right?
Well, yeah, eventually, but if you look at the amount of units you can have on both sides, the one that is doing the expand is always gonna be behind at least 16 supply.
Right.
I
So the
usually
idea,
expand for even, honestly.
So that's true to a point, right? Like
Yeah, eventually it does pay itself, I know.
Yeah, so it takes about 2 minutes to pay itself off, right?
I estimate
case.
230 to 3 minutes, but
It's
there's
not
also
the
the issue in this game that every time you do it...
For it, hold on, let me see if I can pull that up.
It's not the case. You're not counting to the moment where it pays itself. You're counting to the moment where you can hold it, so you can live to the point where you can pay where it pays itself. And we counted that if you, well, as I said, if you do your expansion before your second rack, you're dead, basically.
Yeah, in QVQ, yeah. And I don't
if
know
you
that...
if you
Yeah.
well, we are only talking about QVQ at the moment.
Yeah.
If you do your expansion after the second rack, your opponent has somewhat about 25 seconds of pure battle, having 12, for example, Zentaris against 8 Zentaris.
So let's see. So fundamentally, in Orzum versus Orzum, what is happening here is that the proxy is happening first, and then the proxy is essentially nullifying Defender's advantage.
Yeah, to some degree.
And therefore, normally what happens in real-time strategy games is that expanding and then defending aggression is a way to get ahead, right? But if you proxy, then defending and expanding and then defending becomes fundamentally more difficult to do because of the fact that the defender's advantage is broken.
Yep.
Okay.
The only way to fulfill like this 25 seconds fighting gap is to pre-build static defense, for example, like the ability tower near your expand, so you can dance around it for 25 seconds before you go from 8 to 12 Zentari, and then you are again on even amount, and then you can just basically play the game.
Okay, and then you're ahead, right?
No, you're
Eventually,
not ahead.
yes.
Eventually,
I mean,
yes.
it depends on the trade, though. That's also the thing. If you trade like 2 or 3 Centauri down, then your expansion takes much longer to pay off.
Yeah, and most likely your opponent will expand himself and get
expansion. A fully upgraded expansion gives 360 alloy per minute.
So, by the way, we need to not forget the fact that even well, you're outpaying only resource-wise, but your opponent still controls the middle and has the Pyre, which can like negate your economic advantage even further down, and you will pay out yourself so much longer that your opponent will have enough time to rebuild his army, place an extractor, feed the kids, like go walk with the dog, and he will be ahead, and he will become
Stuff. Because more stuff beats less stuff, right?
Yes. Pyre is the way to win even fights, or to break the defender advantage.
I haven't found Pyre to be sufficient to break defender's advantage in general.
So yes.
Yeah, you need to have Pyre, and you need to have sufficient supply to go with it, because it's a force multiplier rather than just like raw fighting power.
Which is, by the way, really, really good, because there's a game called Crossfire Legion where they tried to do some system like this, but they made it just like pure force. Like you have 100 energy and every spill is just straight up stats,
Yeah.
which you get instantly, which obviously doesn't work.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, Pyre B. I think Pyre is pretty well implemented. And here's the thing too, other thing to consider too, like the damage that Pillar of the Heavens does when it lands on things is also like the exception. They're just not going to do very much raw combat power in terms of that. So.
Yeah, the damage is something that you just don't keep into account because you're never gonna land it, and you never try to land your pillar into your enemy because he will just step back, one-shot it, and continue fighting. You want to get 30% attack speed increase is way more valuable than potential damage that you will miss most likely.
Also, the pillar currently has a bug in that any damage done to it takes a whole second before it actually takes the damage. So it's actually much harder to focus fire the pillar the moment it comes down.
Also, the pillar is pretty fat boy when it comes to lower amount of fires because you need 24 Zentaris autos to kill it. And 24 autos...
Pillar itself is slated for a nerf as far as I know. I think they're removing Hallowed Ground off of it.
What?
Pillar
it loses Hallowed... No way.
Yeah.
I have to change my Civ now.
Oh no.
I mean, it's literally only used for Hallowed Ground.
Right. Well, it's also used for the 30% attack speed buff, right? Like,
yeah, because your opponent is gonna fight you in it.
Like that's fundamentally just a part of the design. Is that I suddenly have 30% more DPS for my army, right? So like,
it's really hard to place it in a way where the opponent can neither destroy it nor run away.
Right. It's supposed to be a spell that goes like, this place is mine, and then it's yours, and your opponent will not rip it away from you. So, therefore,
it claims it. Okay.
Yeah, it's Pillar of the Heavens. It's like his ability to claim a particular area. Yeah. So, that's kind of like intended design right now. What that also means, a part of why Magi aren't built right now as well is the fact that Pillar has Hallowed Ground. Because why would you build Magi when you can build more basic units and then just have Hallowed Ground on your 100 Pyre spell? Like, why would you build Magi in that case?
I think the main reason why we don't make Magi is because they're too expensive when you're making Zephyrs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can't make them with Zephyrs, because one Magi is 2 Zephyrs in terms of Ether.
No, you can afford it, but the thing is, the laser shuttle, alt deck basically.
Magical,
Sure,
I want to see you play cheese real quick.
It's 4:30 AM. I'm not gonna give you a good game, but sure, we can do one.
It's late for Magical too, so...
Oh no, I wake up already now, it's not late.
Oh.
It's 9 AM, I'm perfectly fresh, and
Okay.
it's not even.
Okay.
Alright, I'm booting the game.
Because there's a hypothesis right now, Magical, that goes something like proxies are killing defenders' advantage in...
Yeah, I'll play it against that.
Yeah, what do you think about it?
I think it's just very hard to defend. I honestly don't know how to. If you expect her to kind of die.
Okay.
And the issue is,
Do you think
even if you defend it, you're still behind. I have more gas than.
No, well, it's not. Oh, I guess I did.
So, do you
Don't
think
forget to stream.
like
Yeah.
the fact that you can't expo first without just rolling over and dying, and like, so therefore one base build being forced by this? Or do you think
What do you
it's-
mean? Sorry.
So essentially, the idea is that if you build an expo, then you're essentially behind on the army progression from your opponent, and they're proxying all of their buildings, which means that all of their stuff is going to come out really close to your base.
The issue is specifically Legion Hole in my natural, because it gives like hollow ground there. I can do nothing against hollow ground entirely.
Yeah, so
That's
he's been
kind of the
building it.
biggest thing.
He's been building it not even necessarily in the natural sometimes.
Oh, it's not the natural, I'm not afraid.
Also, a very big part of the problem is that the close, well, because you can't punish proxy just increases the window of your vulnerability while you're like trying to pay off your expansion. Like instead of like 10 seconds of being down, or well, maybe not 10, but like minute being down for units.
About 30 seconds, I think, where the expo is going to put you behind.
Did the lobby crash because someone joined as I was launching?
Uh-oh.
No, it works, alright. Hopefully. Right?
We're
I can see my
all
cursor.
living on hopefully right now.
Oh, it loaded. Alright.
You want me to play Kuraf?
I mean, it's for Kuraf versus Kuraf, yeah.
Yesterday
It's
the
been
game was
Orzum
working.
versus
It's not
Orzum.
working today. Like, what the heck? I was streaming. I have everything open
Very
that I was
think it's not
streaming.
gonna work against that.
I mean, I've also played it against Hydra 3 weeks ago.
You think it's because my
Yeah,
computer's
I saw
overheating?
that too.
I mean, do you think it's because my computer's overheating though? That might be it.
Did.
One thing that would be interesting to find out is whether Ajari, assuming Orzum goes expansion, can reasonably punish expansion. I'm worried about Ajari can't survive this though if she goes expansion.
Mm-hmm. So basically what I'm looking at here is I'm trying to see if there's a way you can punish, like, just walking out on the map and building your thing out there.
Well, the issue is this distance is too long for a 3 worker pull to be viable. And 2 worker pull doesn't kill it.
Right.
I think maybe you could do something with a cannon, but you would have to be completely blind about it. And also probably one.
No, you can't cannon. Cannon is behind the building. You have to get the Keeper of Hardened Flame first.
Hold on, can you keep
Yeah, that's why it would be completely blind. You would just have to blindly be able to keep it of Hardened Flame at the beginning of the game, so you can walk out a moat and like build 2 cannons next to it. Well, a cannon next to it.
Hold on.
But does that even kill it? I don't think that kills it.
When I tested it, I think it barely kills it. But I won't quote me on that.
Alright.
I think it barely kills it, but the units still come out.
Here's my question. Can you build, like, go Expo first and then just go Keeper the Hardened Flame immediately after and then build cannons? Is that possible?
Where
Not on this map, you would have to build like 6 cannons to cover everything.
Yeah.
I'll show you my response, but I'm not sure it's the best one.
Hi. How are you doing? We're just hanging out today, trying to get the game to work again. Then I'm just gonna like randomly like move units around, hanging out in the Immortal Gates of Pyre Discords. That's who the people you hear talking in the background. Sometimes I chat with those people, and we might even play together. So right now I'm just kind of doing my own thing. So.
I don't want to do that.
I
want to go to sleep at some point. But
And if the stream crashes, it's probably because the game is taking up a lot of my it's pretty much.
Cheese is 60 ether ahead of Magical.
yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
So it's like 60 ether ahead of Magical, and then I won't say anything else. Dang, I should have recorded this, actually, now that I think about it. That would make it
Oh
all
no, it's not good. It's not good, I repeat, it's not good.
Okay, maybe with the Chrome closed it'll run better.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
I think
Alright,
I
GG.
think Magical just wins there, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't want to play a proper game. I just wanted to do the opener.
Okay, well,
If you
I'm
had
also
built
looking at it, like, what do
anything back home, it would have been fine. And also, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
scout for that.
like,
Yeah, I can scout, I can
you-
build something at home.
You're seeing on 700 alloy. That's another
Yeah, that's
building
true.
and a full round of units.
Yeah, I know. I know that part.
we can try. Can we try one more time? I'm gonna record it this time.
I mean, but what do you want to see
Yeah,
here?
I can keep the exp. I don't think I can defend it, but you can just to show it.
I mean, what you did here was you... No, actually, I don't know exactly what you were doing.
I just
made an
proxied it.
expand?
He proxied a Legion Hall in your base and then killed you with it.
Oh,
So
no,
yeah,
that doesn't work reliably.
You wouldn't be able to expand yourself.
A Legion Hall in the base is actually killable by 3 workers, by the way, without being behind. So if I see this, I could pull 3 workers and kill it, and that's even good enough.
But if you pull 3 workers, that's going to kill it.
No, it's gonna kill.
Like,
It's definitely gonna kill. I mean, I'm gonna lose slightly on income, but he also has 250 resources
also-
banked.
you're also going to have to rebuild. You're going to be forced to rebuild 3 workers plus lost mine.
Cheese, don't forget to stream.
Yeah, but we didn't launch yet. Alright.
So it's 3 workers too, which are rebuilt in your main ally line. So it's like you're now sitting on 3 workers that don't have a place to mine.
You can
Yeah.
technically throw them in the natural and eventually get some money back.
Yeah.
Great.
By the way, how does the worker rebuild work?
As soon as there's not full workers on the alloy, it's gonna make one.
And it's
How much does
spent.
it
I
cost?
spent resources gradually. 50 alloy in total, but it's like it spreads over 20 seconds. It doesn't spend immediately.
Do the workers go back after they're done building?
If the alloy field is not full, yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, adding more workers to it though is not efficient after it's fully saturated.
Okay, so just have it like, make it like 6 out of 6.
I'm fairly sure adding more workers after 6 does absolutely nothing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even 6 workers not mine efficiently already.
But I mean, again, the workers are going to be reworked, right? So
Yeah, we'll
the
see
whole
what
thing's
happens
going
with
to
that.
change.
Oops.
Actually, I wonder if I can do that. Yeah, probably not. It's just very crazy.
Out gets blocked all the time in terms of pathing. Quite annoying. I guess I should count the ether to see if he's doing something stupid.
I think you can kind of just scout the full base, or you could just always use your second teapot to check your
Alright, but by
main and
now,
nearby.
yeah, by now I see that there's no... Wait. Yeah, that just means that there's no units. Oh, he makes it here. Alright. So this time it's a different response to the build.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's
Man, this micro is annoying. I should never lose in the micro war anyway, by the way.
I mean, you're playing against magical, so you will lose the micro war sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, now I just got plus units. So it's tough.
Oh yeah, and now I'm also abusing the fact that his base is gonna generate workers. Which will not be in the game after some time.
Yeah, I think it would have
But
been
this is-
fine if he had basically timed out when the Zentari were gonna pop out, and then you just weren't there right when they popped out.
Yeah, the base defense is just not possible. Even if like I get a bit better of the trades.
Well, you have to
My
keep in
game-
mind I played that really not good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because this was 4 against 2 and then 4 against 3 for a long time and they lost the trade, which is unacceptable considering we both had hallowed ground. Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the question though, is like, is it a problem, right? Is it?
Yeah, that's also a good question, but
The thing is, like, it's a huge gamble, and right now we both have to gamble. Because a proxy loses to not expand build.
well, that's also the question. Does it though?
I mean, if you have a building proxy, it's pretty bad. If you have, because if you are on equal.
But I
supply,
have
you can't
hallowed
build.
ground in the middle of the map.
Yeah, but can you defend it? I think it's.
I
pretty
should
good.
be able to.
Yeah, because I can attack your base, as I can attack that building. You know, I can attack both. And you
Yeah,
need to-
I know, I get that part, but the only reason why that could be a problem is if you run by into my main,
Yeah. And
which
Yeah, it
is
could be-
possible. But I
Yeah.
think there's ways to play around that.
I think you need to defend everything, and that's the biggest issue. So you need to really spread out, have very good vision.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's easy. That's also why I'm not gonna play that style right now.
So
It
Okay,
requires
plenty of
practice and
water.
proper play.
it's rock,
But I
paper,
think-
scissors.
Gotta
But
stay
I think
hydrated.
conceptually and like theoretically, it's definitely possible to catch the run-bys and deny them before they hit their main.
Also, one of the ideas is that if you wanna expand with this build, you can do that near your Pyre control in the middle with the hallowed.
Yeah.
ground.
I mean, I understand that, like, Dervish gonna, like, any harassment unit's gonna, like, make hell. It's very difficult to defend.
Alright, I'm gonna roll out because I'm an American and it's late here, so.
Wait, it's late for an American.
Yeah,
He's East Coast. So
I'm
it's
EU.
like 10-11 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 AM.
Almost 6 AM, I would say.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
All right, we're getting some progress.
so.
In which
Bye.
case, it's like rock paper scissors here, right?
Yes, and that's exactly why it's not good.
Okay, and we don't like rock paper scissors.
Not in that binary
Well,
way, even.
basically,
I'm not satisfied with this just being rock paper scissors bad.
and
I
at the
think this is
moment,
worse
the-
than rock paper scissors. But I will have to practice and prepare something
The
more.
very bad thing that like we did some math, and if you can like get this math to someone's hands that can actually use all the like theory craft, the problem will become that it is rock paper scissors where scissors beats rock. You know. So like even if you fix one problem, you come to rock paper scissors, which is already a problem.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
on the other hand, though, like What happens when you run into an equally good player who knows the theorcraft and therefore is able to...
Well, what we theorize is gonna happen is both players are gonna do the proxy. And because the proxy is closer to the enemy base than to their own base, they will run the 4 Centauri into the enemy main and deny mining. And then you have a low economy situation for both players for some time until they build enough Centauri at their main to defend. And then you have the most sketchy bullshit ever.
Like, if you have units at home, you can easily prevent roundbite. Like, it's not that easy. Like,
if you have
it's
2
difficult.
Centauri at home, 2 Centauri with range defends 4 Centauri, right?
So you would say you run 2 into the enemy main and 2 into your own main. But you can't... You can know that there's a proxy. Yeah.
You can easily... you can easily scout low. Like, just
no, I mean you can deduct it from just scouting the main of the enemy.
Yeah, you just scout entire main and you see there's like no Legion hole, like what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although
And you do 2 to enemy main and 2 to own.
I will say that the main base is pretty big, and building the Legion all out by the rocks is something that happens, so it often takes a longer time to scout the whole main and the natural. Like,
I mean, but what happens if you send 2... Oh, well, but if you send 2 to your own home, that's a little bit of an issue, if you got mind tricked like that. Which is why I don't like that part. I guess your second scout has to scout for a proxy location then.
yeah. One base gets really wacky.
Yeah. Needs to go down every single path and make sure that it's actually not solvable, which will take time and effort.
Mm-hmm. So again, it comes back to, is this a problem?
No.
Also, no, I mean, this is definitely a problem.
I mean, we just said that it's rock, paper, scissors, which is already a problem. I'm gonna see if it's even more of a problem at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then...
Coming down to rock, paper, scissors, even if you find a way, like, if you have proxy against defender position, even if you find a way to safely place an expansion as defender, the proxy player will just mirror it with his own expand in the middle of the map, and you can't even punish it.
Yeah, you overestimate middle expansions, like totally overestimate. It's not that strong positions, that it's not super very good at defending. I don't think you can survive.
But
properly.
you have hallowed ground on the high ground because you have your proxy right there.
I'm highlighting that again. You're really spread out. which makes you really vulnerable to like flying units. Dervish, which are really fast, right? Difficult to catch those. If they can really freely go around the map if you expand like that. I don't. It's never gonna be good.
If memory serves, I think the thing that would really kill the middle expansions is it's really hard if they try to worm a scepter behind the owl line to get a Zephyr in place to hit it, without it just killing moats and going back to the tower to heal.
Wait, a Zephyr can hit the mineral line?
I believe, if memory serves, that the Scepter and Zephyr have the exact same range, but you can just put a Scepter like in the dead airspace behind the alloy line in the middle, and it's going to be really hard to kill it before it kills workers and gets away.
Yeah, you're not catching a Scepter in the middle of the map there.
Yo, do you know that external unit, the Dervish, have abilities like a mine?
Dervish ability, the mine? What about it?
Yeah, they drop a mine.
The mine doesn't deal damage, it just slows, reveals, and causes damage amplification.
So this unit is trashed.
So.
Alright, I'll go to sleep. Bye.
Good night, please.
Good night.
I guess same for me, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like locked in all weekend trying to get this to work right, you know?
Go for it.
And also, as soon as I get the game loaded, I'm just gonna be moving units around and building bases. That's all I'm gonna be doing for like